invasion of privacy. But anyway, makes you really think about like post-mortem like things being published. I think I'm thinking of the word pudorosa in Spanish, but I can't seem to think like the word in English. It's very hard filming this video. Actually, I didn't think that I would be like thinking so hard. But anyway, the thing is, I think this will be like a series where I will be reading the book, maybe the whole book, because it's just very hard to pick and choose which are like the best or the most important, because context always makes everything better. And yeah, that's basically it. Like, I think I was like, I don't know if discarding is a word, but anyway, like, I was just not keeping in the letters about like their stories, but they're just so important because that's how they met, like throughout not but like through their work, like kind of like colleagues and reading each other's work, which is also so intimate. So I was like, no, I have to keep everything. So anyway, this is the first video of many reading the love letters of Virginia Woolf and Vita Sackville West. Without further ado, let's start. And thank you for listening. We'll start at the very beginning. At a dinner party in 1922, the writer Virginia Woolf met the author, aristocrat, and sappist Vita Sackville West. Virginia wrote in her diary that she didn't think much of Vita's conversation, but she did think very highly of her legs. It was to be the start of almost 20 years of flirtation, friendship, and literary collaboration. Their correspondence ended only with Virginia's suicide. Intimate and teasing, these letters and diaries allow us to hear their shifting feelings for each other in their own words. Eavesdropping, God, I just love eavesdropping in general. Anyway, I think I'm just a fan of intimacy in every form it has. Literally, I think it's like the best thing of the human experience. And I'm just obsessed with Virginia Woolf in general. Anyway, eavesdrop on the affair that inspired Virginia to write Orlando and discover an extraordinary relationship which even 100 years later feels radical and relatable. December 15th, and that's actually a day after my birthday, which I thought was relevant. I don't know why. But anyway, Virginia's diary. I am too mussy-headed to make out anything. This is partly the result of dining to meet the lovely gifted aristocrat, Sackville West, last night at Clive's. Not much to my severed taste, florid, mustached, parakeet-collared, and with all the subtleties of aristocracy, but not the wit of the artist. Girl, she writes 15 pages a day, has finished another book, publishes with Heineman's, knows everyone. But could I ever know her? I am to dine there on Tuesday. The aristocratic manner is something like an actress's. No false shyness or modesty. Makes me feel virgin, shy, and schoolgirlish. Yet, after dinner, I rapped out opinions. She's a grenadier. Hard, handsome, manly, inclined to double chin. Girl, the way, like, I'm obsessed with reading this, but then I put myself in her shoes, and I'm like, free Virginia, because could you imagine does give the impression of something big. She's utterly unaffected. There is no outward adornments. She dresses quite atrociously. At first, you think she's plain. Then, a sort of spiritual beauty imposes itself on you. And you find a fascination in watching her. She was smarter last night, that is to say. The wool and orange stockings were replaced by yellow silk ones, but she still wore the pumps. She is both detached and human, silent till she wants to say something, and then says it supremely well. She's quite old. I've rarely taken such a fancy to anyone, and I think she likes me. At least, she's asked me to Richmond, where she lives. Darling, I have quite lost my heart. Letter from Virginia, January 3rd. Dear Mrs. Nicholson, I should never have dared to done you if I had known the magnificence of the book, because Virginia had requested to see Noel and the Sackvilles, and Vita sent her a copy. I am ashamed and would like to say that copies of all my books are at your service if you were to raise a finger. But they look stout and sloppy and shabby. There is nothing I enjoy more than family histories, so I am falling upon Noel the first moment I get. I wonder if you would come and dine with us. We don't dine so much as picnic, as the press has gotten into the larder and into the dining room, and we never dress. I would look up a train and give you the directions if you can come, as I hope. Yours, very sincerely, Virginia Woolf. God, just bring back letters, I swear. Sometimes, I'm guilty of writing long ass emails to some of my closest friends and some loves. But I just caught the way I would just die to receive a handwritten letter. Oh. Anyway, letter from Vita to Harold, January 10th. Tomorrow I dine with my darling Mrs. Woolf at Richmond. I love Mrs. Woolf with a sick passion, and so will you. In fact, I don't think I will let you know her. Girl, they just met. Virginia's diary. We had a surprise visit from the Nicholsons. Oh, sorry, February 19th. Oh my god, that is tomorrow. February. So that would be actually 104 years. Damn, this is 104 years after this was written. Well, almost 104 years and one day. That is crazy. She's a pronounced Cephist and May. Thinks Ethel Sands have an eye on me. Although I am snob as I am, I trace her passions 500 years back, and they become romantic to me, like old yellow wine. Harold is simple, downright bluff, wears short black coat and check trousers, wishes to be a writer but is not, I'm told and can believe, adapted by nature. So, you see, is framing all these judgments and saying, this is not my liking, this is second rate, this vulgar, this nice sincere, and so on. My soul diminished. Alas, the evening wore on. Vita's diary. Dined with Virginia at Richmond. She's as delicious as ever. How right she is when she says that loves make everyone a bore, but the excitement of life lies in the little moves nearer to people. But perhaps she feels this because she is an experimentalist in humanity and has no grand passion in her life. If anyone has read these letters, with which one of them do you relate the most? At first I thought it was a Virginia because I was obsessed with Virginia's writing, but when I've reading this, I just realized that I am a vita through and through. Anyway, Vita's diary, March 19th. Lunched with Virginia in Tavistock Square. When she has just arrived, the first time that I have been alone with her for long. Went on to see Mama, my head swimming with Virginia. Oh, I think if I just stay here, there's no shadow. Okay. March 26th. Letter from Vita. Dear Mrs. Woolf, I write this tonight because I think you said you were going to Spain on the 27th, and I wanted to catch you before you go. The pen club committee are very anxious for you to join the club, and at their request I proposed you. Now, will you be nice and let them make you a member? For my sake, if for no other reason. It is only a guinea a year, and they would be so pleased. They dine once a month. It is quite amusing. Do please come to the May dinner when they are entertaining distinguished foreign writers. There was a little shout of excitement from the committee about you, and John Galsworthy, so to speak, got up and made a curtsy. I hope you will have fun in Spain. It is the best country I know. Please let me know when you come back, as I do want you both to come and stay at Longbarn and come up to Knoll with me, and I shan't know when you are back unless you tell me. Yours very sincerely, Vita Nicholson. Letter from Virginia, March 30th. Dear Mrs. Nicholson, but I wish you could be induced to call me Virginia. I got your letter as we left Richmond. I am much flattered that the pen should ask me to become a member. I would do so with pleasure, except that I don't know what being a member means. Does it commit one to make speeches, or to come regularly, or to read papers, or what? Living so far out, dinners are apt to be difficult, and I can speak. Letter from Vita, April 8th. Sorry. My dear Virginia, I don't take much inducing. Could you be induced likewise, do you think? It is nice of you to say you will join the pen club, provided you don't have to make speeches. I can guarantee that. As by one of the club rules, they are forbidden. The most you ever get is a statement from the chairman, nor need you to go to any dinners unless you want to. Nor does anyone read papers. You just go to a dinner when the spirit moves you and takes your chance of sitting next to Mr. H.G. Wells or an obscure and spotty young journalist. I don't suppose this letter will reach you. It always seems to be quite incredible anyway that any letter should reach its destination, but I seem to remember that you have already said, or rather written, all that there is to be said about letters, so I won't compete. I am envying you Spain more than I can say. I wish I were with you. But the ladies' smocks are very nice, along the hedges, and my tulips are coming out. Yours, very sincerely, Vita Nicholson. There was a hiatus in their correspondence, but when in March 19 seducers in Ecuador while on her walking tour of the Dolomites with her husband Harold Nicholson. Well, there we will stop and we will keep reading from 1924 in another video. So, thank you very much for listening to my first English video. I hope it was okay. Go lesbians,